Donald Trump is more panicked than he has ever been before. And it's because of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Now, Donald Trump in the past has been able to intimidate his way out of problems. He has been able to force his Republicans into submission. He has been able to get his cultists to fall in line. But not only is that not the case with the MAGA base, it's also not the case with MAGA Republicans in Congress, who aren't just speaking out against Donald Trump, but are going against his very wishes and moving forward with making these Epstein files public. And the most surprising of them all has been Marjorie Taylor Greene, who Donald Trump is now literally going to war with and threatening after what she just said. We're going to get into it all in the White House's insane reaction that leaked. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Republicans being threatened by Donald Trump, I want to start with the Republicans who got called out by Congressman Jim McGovern for how subservient they're being to Trump in defending Epstein.
This is all about the ego of the man who lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You guys think you work for Trump. You're obsessed with him. It's pathetic. Republicans are ruining this institution, Mr. Speaker, destroying this institution. Again, let me repeat, every single Republican on the Rules Committee voted against releasing the Epstein files. Every single one. I mean, we heard last night that all Republicans want full transparency, but that's just not true. Let me read you a quote from the top Republican in this country, President Donald J. Trump. This is what he says about the Epstein files, and I quote, "It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats and some stupid Republicans," end quote. And at a press availability just minutes ago, the president again said that this is all a hoax. Now, what do Republicans think of that? Donald Trump says this is all a hoax, and if you want to release the files, you're stupid. Now, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that the guy who once called Epstein a, quote, terrific guy, and who Epstein considered his, quote, closest friend, is not actually interested in getting to the truth.
It is just so embarrassing, the way Republicans continuously debase themselves, all in service of Donald Trump. They are so weak and so ineffective. These are people who talk about strength and masculinity and being manly, but somehow, some way, they always find themselves bending the knee to a reality TV host who they are terrified of tweeting at them. Like, that is the reality that it boils down to. They will not do their jobs. They do not have values because Donald Trump might send out a mean post on an obscure social media site used to funnel funds into Donald Trump's mini criminal schemes. That's it. That is the explanation. And that's why it's been so surprising to see Republicans like Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace decide that they've had enough as it relates to the Epstein files. That's what we saw from Marjorie Taylor Greene when she spoke out today. And then I want to get into Donald Trump's insane threat.
All of the fault belongs to the evil people that do these things to the innocent. This is the most important fight we can wage here in Congress, is fighting for innocent people that never receive justice. And the women behind me have never received justice. And do you want to know why? It's because Jeffrey Epstein somehow was able to walk among the most rich, powerful people, not only in America, but foreign countries. Yesterday, I heard countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and even Israel, and other countries. The truth needs to come out.
Now, I don't want to give Marjorie Taylor Greene any credit because she doesn't deserve credit. She's not taking a stand. She is doing what she should as an elected representative. This is your obligation, and you shouldn't get a participation trophy just because you said the most notorious child trafficker and abuser in the history of our country was a bad guy, and we should get transparency on that. I'm not going to build you a statue and throw you a parade. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene should be doing if she wants to live up to any of the values that she claims to have and consistently wipes her butt with. Like, seriously, Marjorie Taylor Greene, finally, you showed up and acted like you cared. But I am encouraged that so many Republicans are, and Donald Trump is clearly so panicked that so many Republicans are, because now it's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's not just Thomas Massie, many others are lining up, and it's why Trump is using Marjorie Taylor Greene as an example with the threats that he is making that we can see right here. White House official giving a warning shot to any Republicans who signed Massie's discharge petition, telling me it would be viewed as a very hostile act to the administration. Full statement. Helping Thomas Massie and liberal Democrats with their attention-seeking while the DOJ is supporting a more comprehensive file release effort from the Oversight Committee would be viewed as a very hostile act towards the administration. They're calling it a hostile act to fight for transparency, the very thing that this administration claims that they support. And we are now hearing from Congressman Robert Garcia, the ranking member on the Oversight Committee, that there is a pressure campaign and threats are being sent out to Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Thomas Massie, not just primary challenges, but all forms of intimidation against these Republican figures who are willing to join Democrats. Mind you, this is not a Republican fight. This is not happening because of these 10 Republicans. This is happening because of Democrats. Republicans, some of them, a few of them, not nearly enough of them, and that's a problem that we should be talking about, are coming along to join Democrats. And that terrifies the White House. That terrifies Donald Trump, because he thought, with a little recess and a little time off and maybe a distraction here or there, some red meat for the base, that they would just move on. But that is not happening, especially because we continue to talk about it. And Democrats like Jared Moskowitz bring attention like he did right here.
I'm being very polite, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing this afternoon, but I can assure you that...
But there's the free speech hearing. You're not going to tell me what you're doing this afternoon?
Free speech is one thing, discretion's quite another, too.
Okay. All right, so you're leaving to have lunch with the president. So, Mr. Farage, I have a question. Have you heard about the Epstein thing that's going on here?
I have.
You have? What do you think about it?
I'm not going to give comment on anything happening in America. I'm here as a witness.
Perfect.
I'm here as a witness.
I'm
here as a witness for what is happening in the United Kingdom and in the European
Perfect.
Parliament.
Let me just go through it. So it's been 9 months, right, since we've been meeting in these hearings. We've not had Pam Bondi here, even though we have jurisdiction over the Department of Justice, not Dan Bongino.
The gentleman yield?
Not Kash Patel. I will 100%. We'll go back and forth. Let me just do my thing.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to correct. Kash Patel's coming in 2. I'll give you an extra 10 seconds. Kash Patel, the director of FBI, is coming in 2 weeks, and the Attorney General's coming in 4 weeks.
Fantastic. But still, we're not doing that this week. The week we're having votes on the Epstein thing. So, Pam Bondi gives the influencers, these Republican influencers, a binder. It says Part 1 of the Epstein files. No one of you saw it. It was quite spectacular. The Attorney General then says the Epstein list is on her desk. Then DOJ issues a memo, says there is no list. Then, do you have any questions about any of that? We've had no hearings on any of that at all. That, the list is on my desk, then there is no list. Then we gave binders to Republican influencers. This committee's had no questions on any of how that transpired at the Department of Justice. Then hold on.
Well, it sounds like you're going to in the next few weeks. So that's a jolly good thing.
Mr. Farage, we can talk soon, but not yet. Okay.
Right.
So then the president comes out and says the whole thing's a hoax. He blasts his own base. He blames Barack Obama. I mean, he hasn't been president for a very long time. Republicans then in committee vote against the release in the Rules Committee. Then Republicans refuse to go back in the Rules Committee because they're getting blasted for their vote, getting crushed by their own base. Congress leaves a day early. Then the administration sends the Deputy Attorney General to meet with Maxwell in jail. He happens to be Trump's former personal attorney. She says something favorable about the president. Miraculously, she gets transferred to a minimum security prison. The president starts talking about how he has the right to pardon her if he wanted to. The leaks to the Wall Street Journal then stop. We come back from break. We have the Massie petition. Comer does a document dump where 97% of these documents are already public. How long has he had those documents? Why hasn't he released them for the last 6 weeks? Does it the day of the vote. Then Republicans drop a non-binding resolution trying to kill the Massie discharge petition. The White House said passing the Massie discharge petition is a hostile act. Wow. That's a lot of distraction and deflection and misinformation. Wait, passing a discharge petition to release the Epstein files, the White House said would be a hostile act. Nope, we have no questions about that. But why? Why is it that we're spending so much political capital to keep this list from coming out? You think the list should come out? You think we should know the people who dealt with Mr. Epstein, Mr. Farage?
I thought I was coming to a hearing on free speech, not process.
Oh, but listen, but here's the
And
good...
that sounds like you're discussing process.
No. Do you think the list should come out?
I have no opinion on it. I don't know
So,
at all.
so we have victims that were sexually abused by potentially people in power, and we don't know who's on the list.
I'm very happy.
Hold on, Mr.
discuss
Fresh.
that
We
with
don't
you
know who's on the list. We don't
another
know.
time.
We don't know who's on the list. We don't know if the president is or is not. I'm not going to say he is or isn't. I'm just going to say these are weird behaviors. We don't know that there aren't other people in Congress that are on the list, right? We have no idea. Do you think the list should come out? You think people in power should be held to account for these victims who have been sexually abused and assaulted? You think the list should come out?
I think that I'm very happy to come to a different hearing where you talk about legal process.
Okay.
But today,
Will the gentleman yield for a quick question?
I will stick
to
Were
free
you
speech.
aware that he has already called for the Epstein file to be released? It has been reported that he has called for it to be released.
Oh yeah, right here, just to refresh your memory.
Yeah, but it's- yeah,
I
yes.
happen to have this.
But that's not
How
what
random.
But that is not. Look, you could ask me if you like about
Do you agree
social
with
security
yourself?
policy.
Do you agree with yourself?
We are here to discuss free speech.
Hold on, it's awkward for your lunch after this? Do you agree with yourself?
No, it isn't at all.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'm just curious. This committee has jurisdiction over the
Gentleman's
Department of
time.
Justice.
Yeah.
Why have we allowed Comer to cover this up for the last couple of months?
As I said,
We always say that every Republican accusation is really an admission of the truth about themselves, but never has that been clearer than with the Epstein files, that Republicans are cozied up to the elites, that Republicans are protecting the interests of the rich, the wealthy, and the well-off at all times, not just cutting them big tax breaks, but making sure that their crimes go unnoticed, not unpersecuted, no, not unreviewed, unnoticed, that they keep them in the dark for them, while at the same time, as mass thugs patrol your streets in your neighborhood, harassing your friends, members of your community, for simply existing. That is the difference. The rich, they get to live in the shadowy criminal world that they want, as Donald Trump writes them big tax cuts to pay for their crimes, and you get patrolled by Palantir and ICE for simply dropping your kids off at school. That's it. They're gonna watch every step you take, monitor your internet usage. If you say a bad word about Dear Leader, they'll knock on your door. That's what's happening right now. That's what we have to call out. That's the contrast we have to make. And if you want to support us doing that on this show, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.